Hi there, you're watching Malika Astrology, and this is your Vedic Astrology forecast for June for the sign of Sagittarius. Before we dive in, one important note. This channel is dedicated to Vedic astrology, also known as Jyotish, and it's not the same as the Western horoscopes most people are familiar with. In the Vedic system, the signs are calculated differently, so your Vedic sign may not be the one you think you know. Check out the first video on this channel where I explain the difference in detail. And one more thing, the forecasts here are based on your rising sign, your ascendant, not your sun sign. If you don't know your Vedic ascendant, simply send me your date of birth, your exact time of birth, and your place of birth, and I'll help you find it. All my contact details are in the description below. Alright, let's talk about June, because for Sagittarius, this month is a truly special one. What is this month really about? June for Sagittarius is a month of deep transformation and at the same time very concrete, tangible opportunities, a rare combination. On one side, the most benefic planet in astrology is arriving in one of the deepest houses of your chart. On the other, career, partnership, and communication are creating a rich and active outer backdrop. The central theme is this. Something important is completing from the inside, and it's precisely that completion that opens space for what's new. Sagittarius passes through a point in June, after which life begins to feel different. Not dramatically, not loudly, but irreversibly. The first half is active on the outside, partnership, communication, career momentum. The second half goes deeper and quieter, transformation, reassessment, and growth through the inner world. Let's go through it step by step. At the start of June, the sun is in Taurus, and for Sagittarius, that's your sixth house, the house of work, health, daily routine, and everyday responsibilities. The sixth house is the place where life asks for concrete action, work, discipline, health, solving obstacles, and it's the house where simply dreaming doesn't cut it, because you actually have to do the thing. The sun here illuminates exactly this sphere, and attention naturally turns to your work processes, your health, and how you're organizing your daily life. A desire appears to bring order to things and clear the tasks that have been piling up. For Sagittarius, a sign that naturally chases the horizon, the sixth house offers an important reminder. Great journeys begin with properly laced boots. Through June 15th, this is a good time for steady, methodical work and solving concrete problems. Mercury in the seventh house, May 29th through June 22nd in Gemini. Mercury is in Gemini, its home sign, and for Sagittarius, Gemini is your seventh house, the house of partnership, marriage, and business alliances. Mercury in the seventh house means very active communication around partnership themes, negotiations, discussions of terms, dialogues with partners, both romantic and professional. The right words come easily, and arguments land with conviction. This is a good time for any kind of partnership negotiations and signing agreements. But here's an important nuance. Mercury in the seventh can also amplify verbal disputes, so watch your tone, because a sharp word during this period cuts deeper than usual. And Venus is there too, at least for the first part of the month. Venus in the seventh house, through June 8th in Gemini. Venus is also in your seventh house at the start of June, and this is a very pleasant configuration for the partnership theme. Venus in the seventh house brings warmth, charm, and attraction into relationships. Your partner seems more appealing, conversations feel more enjoyable, and the atmosphere between people softens. Through June 8th, this is a particularly favorable window for romantic events, strengthening a union, and business negotiations in a warm and pleasant setting. And in the very first hours of June, one final impulse from Jupiter in the seventh house. Jupiter in the seventh house, through June 1st in Gemini. In the very first hours of June, Jupiter, the ruler of Sagittarius, is still in your seventh house, and for almost a year this transit has been expanding your world through partnership, opening big opportunities through the right alliances. On June 1st, Jupiter leaves the seventh house, and this partnership cycle closes. But the relationships and alliances that formed during this period carry the seed of that blessing within them. Take care of what was built, and as Jupiter moves on, it opens something very important, which I'll get to in just a moment. But first, something I want to draw your particular attention to: Mars in the fifth house. Mars in the fifth house. May 11th through June 20th in Aries. Mars in the fifth house. May 11th through June 20th in Aries. Mars is in Aries, and for Sagittarius, that's your fifth house, the house of love, creativity, children, romance, and self-expression. Mars in the fifth house is hot, passionate energy in the area of love and creativity, a desire to express yourself, to create, to fall in love, to act impulsively in whatever brings you joy. Creative projects receive a powerful charge of energy, and romantic feelings are intense, vivid, and sometimes a little too fast-moving. But here's the important nuance. Mars in the fifth can bring impulsiveness in love, too fast closeness, and expectations that outpace reality. So watch that passion doesn't get ahead of common sense. And throughout the whole month, a few longer transits are running in the background. Rahu in the third house. All month in Aquarius. Rahu is in your third house, the house of communication, skills, personal effort, and your immediate circle. And Rahu in the third house creates unconventional and very active communication, a desire to share ideas, to put yourself out there through words, and to promote yourself in non-standard ways. Unexpected short trips and interest in unusual skills are possible. Rahu here can spark very bold ideas around self-promotion, but it's important to filter carefully because not every bold idea is a good one, and there's a general caution around information coming through your immediate circle. Not everything you hear there will be accurate. Ketu in the ninth house. All month in Leo. Ketu is in your ninth house, the house of philosophy, higher education, spirituality, and worldview. And the ninth house is one of the two home houses of Sagittarius, which makes this a particularly significant position. Ketu in the ninth house brings a deep reassessment of your philosophy and beliefs. What you believed before is going through a quiet but serious internal review, and former teachers, former convictions, and former philosophical or spiritual views may be losing their old hold on you. In their place, a more mature, quieter, and more personal understanding of truth begins to emerge. For Sagittarius, a sign that lives by meaning and conviction, this is a very important process, so don't be frightened if old guideposts seem less bright than they used to. This is not loss, this is growth. Saturn in the fourth house. All month in Pisces. Saturn is in your fourth house, the house of home, family, mother, and your inner emotional foundation. And this is a long transit that will continue until 2027. Saturn in the fourth house means serious, steady work with the theme of home and family. There may be additional responsibility at home, a need to approach housing matters systematically and patiently, and inner peace won't come automatically because it requires real effort. But what is being built in the home sphere right now is being built solidly and for a long time. And now, the main event of June, the one I wanted to give its own space. The main event of June. Jupiter enters Cancer. June 1st. Jupiter moves into the 8th house of Sagittarius, into Cancer. Here it is, the deepest and most important event not just of June, but of the months ahead for your sign. On June 1st, Jupiter, the ruler of your sign, leaves the 7th house and moves into the 8th. And this is a very special transition because the ruler of the sign is arriving in the deepest and most transforming house of the chart. Jupiter is the most benefic planet in Vedic astrology, and Cancer is the sign of Jupiter's exaltation, its maximum power. And I know that the 8th house can sound intimidating to many people, so let's look at this together. For Sagittarius, Cancer is your 8th house, and let me tell you what this house actually covers. because it is far richer than it might seem. The eighth house is transformation and deep change, hidden resources and other people's money, inheritance and shared finances, secret knowledge and deep wisdom, psychology and work with the subconscious, and crises as turning points of growth. When Jupiter in exaltation arrives in the eighth house, this is not something to fear. This is powerful. It can bring significant growth through hidden resources, inheritance, shared finances, unexpected income sources, deep, transforming knowledge that genuinely shifts how you see life from the inside. Protection in difficult situations. Jupiter here quite literally shields you from the most severe consequences. A real interest in psychology and inner practices, and genuine growth through them, and a sense of deep inner renewal, as if an old skin has been shed and a new one is already forming. Jupiter will be in Cancer until the end of October 2026, and for Sagittarius, this is a period of growth through depth, not through outward movement, but through inner transformation. And that kind of growth is the most lasting of all. Now, what happens in the second half of the month? Sun moves into the seventh house from June 15th in Gemini. On June 15th, the Sun leaves the sixth house and moves into the seventh, the house of partnership, and the work-focused energy of the first half gives way to a focus on relationships and alliances. Mercury is already in the seventh house at this point, and the Sun joins it, creating a powerful combination of personal presence and sharp communication right in the house of partnership. Important conversations, agreements, and joint decisions all become more active after the 15th. And on June 8th, something special happens in your eighth house. Venus moves into the eighth house. From June 8th in Cancer. From June 8th, Venus arrives in your eighth house, right where Jupiter is already waiting. And Venus in the eighth house, alongside Jupiter in exaltation, is beauty through depth. Feelings become intense, transforming, and real. What is superficial falls away, and only what is genuine remains. In finances, pleasant events through hidden channels are possible. Unexpected income sources, gifts of fate through partnership resources. Romance during this period is deep and private, not a bright public event, but something that changes something important on the inside. And after June 20th, a shift you will definitely feel. Mars moves into the sixth house from June 20th in Taurus. After June 20th, Mars leaves the fifth house and moves into the sixth, the house of work and health, and the passionate, creative energy of the first half transforms into working power. Mars in the sixth house for Sagittarius is actually a very good configuration for overcoming obstacles and solving complex tasks. Willpower, persistence, and the ability to finally deal with what has long needed resolving all become available. But the load on your health increases, so it's important not to work yourself to exhaustion. Health in June. A few things worth paying attention to this month: the hips, liver, and nervous system. Sagittarius is physically connected to the hips and the liver, and Mars in the fifth house in the first half creates hot, impulsive energy, so watch for overheating in the body. After the 20th, Mars in the sixth can bring increased physical load, so don't ignore signals of fatigue. Inner state. Saturn in the fourth house creates a background pressure in the home and psychological sphere, and if there is no peace at home, everything else feels the effect. Creating a calm, comfortable home environment in June is not a luxury, it is a necessity. Transformation through the body. Jupiter in the eighth house can bring changes in physical well-being, sometimes through a crisis that turns out to be a healing. Don't be frightened by changes in how you feel. Trust the process and reach out to specialists when needed. Emotional warmth through depth. When Venus joins Jupiter in the eighth house, a special inner warmth appears. Not surface-level joy, but a deep sense that what is happening is right. That is a real resource, so lean into it. Money in June. The financial picture for Sagittarius in June is interesting and layered. The main event is Jupiter in exaltation in the 8th house from June 1st. And this is a powerful signal of growth through hidden resources, inheritance, shared finances, partnership money, investments, and unexpected income sources may all become active. From June 8th, Venus joins Jupiter in the 8th, making financial events through hidden channels even more pleasant. At the start of the month, Jupiter, Venus, and Mercury in the 7th house support financial negotiations with partners. The main caution: the 8th house requires careful attention to partnership financial arrangements, so verify all terms legally, even when Jupiter is creating a sense of protection. Career in June. The career backdrop for Sagittarius in June is steady and productive. The Sun in the 6th house through the 15th creates a focus on work and daily tasks, and it's a good time for methodical progress and demonstrating your competence through concrete results. Rahu in the 3rd house continues to support unconventional self-promotion through communication and content. Bold ideas around personal branding may produce unexpected results. After the 20th, Mars in the 6th adds working drive and is a good time for tackling complex professional challenges. Ketu in the 9th house continues to reassess professional philosophy. Some of your old career convictions are changing, and that is completely normal. Love and relationships in June. The start of June is romantically rich. Jupiter, Venus, and Mercury in the 7th house create a warm, communicative, and genuinely connected atmosphere in the partnership sphere. And through June 8th, this is a particularly good window for romantic events, important conversations with a partner, and strengthening a union. Mars in the 5th house through the 20th adds passion and impulsiveness. Feelings are vivid, but it's important not to rush things. After June 8, Venus moves into the 8th house and meets Jupiter there, and romance becomes deep, transforming, and real. Not a bride celebration, but something that changes something important on the inside. After June 15th, the Sun in the 7th house intensifies the focus on your partner, who becomes especially significant during this period. And after the 20th, Mars leaves the 5th house and the passionate intensity eases a little, with more calm arriving in its place. The month in summary. June for Sagittarius is a month where outer activity gradually gives way to inner depth. The first half is active, partnership-focused, and creative. Lots of communication, negotiations, romance, and working energy, with life bubbling on the outside. The second half goes deeper and quieter, with Jupiter in exaltation in the 8th house, Venus alongside it, and the Sun and Mercury in the partnership-focused 7th, all creating a special combination of outer connection and inner depth. Sagittarius has the opportunity in this period to make an important inner transition and to emerge from it renewed. Your opportunities in June are growth through hidden resources and partnership finances, deep transforming knowledge and inner development, important partnership events, both romantic and professional, unconventional self-promotion through communication, and tackling complex work tasks after the 20th. Where to be more careful: impulsiveness in love and creativity in the first half, partnership financial arrangements without proper legal review, an information fog coming through your immediate circle, background pressure in the home and family sphere, and reassessing your beliefs without a clear new direction yet. The main message of June. Sagittarius is used to seeking meaning on the horizon, in journeys, in philosophy, in new shores. But June 2026 is saying something clear. The most important horizon right now is on the inside. Jupiter in exaltation in the 8th house is an invitation to a deep transformation that doesn't make noise and doesn't shine outward, but changes everything for real. Trust this process. What is leaving for a reason, and what is arriving to stay. This has been the general transit forecast for Sagittarius in Vedic astrology. It describes the tendencies for everyone with this ascendant, but your personal story is always richer and more specific than any general forecast can capture. Your natal chart holds something this forecast simply cannot give you. Which themes will be most significant for you personally? How strongly these transits will show up in your life? And which moments this month could be genuinely pivotal for you and no one else? And that is what a personal reading is for. If you would like to explore your natal chart, reach out to me. All you need is your date of birth, your exact time of birth, and your place of birth, and all my contact details are below this video. You can also order a full year ahead forecast. Until the next forecast, and may June bring you exactly what you need.